Hello and welcome. In this video, we are going to be jumping into talking about Dragon Ball. I watched the original anime for the first time and wanted to kind of give my overall thoughts and impressions on it, as it is something I've come to fall in love with over the past several months. So let's get ready to jump in. Welcome once again, my name is Austin, and on this channel we talk about one of my favorite things in the world, movies, and how I tie together my faith with film and everything that's in between. Now, this video specifically, we're branching off a little bit, talking about a TV show and an anime series that I've grown to love since I started collecting and watching it back in December, and that is Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is a show that I never really watched growing up. I remember seeing clips of it on like Toonami, Cartoon Network, that kind of thing, but I always thought it was just one of those like weird adult shows that you don't watch as a kid kind of thing, because we were fairly strict growing up as well. We couldn't watch, so I just kind of saw it as one of those things I couldn't watch and never really watched it. And then over the years, as I've come to branch out, check out more things, gotten into anime more since I got into college, I checked out Dragon Ball based on some recommendations from people, and just the curiosity, the pure curiosity got me, and now I'm absolutely hooked. So I have watched all, as you can see behind me, I have the complete series on DVD. I went through that whole series from December up until about a month ago, and then I've now since started Dragon Ball Z Kai, and so I'm loving that as well, just as much if not more. So with all that background information out of the way, I wanted to go through kind of all of the main big arcs that they have for this series. There's kind of three big ones and then some subplots within that arc as well. I wanted to just give my overarching thoughts on them. Starting things off, we're introduced to Goku, and we are also introduced to the first villain of the series, Emperor Pilaf. I thought it was a good introduction, as we're introduced to the main character of the show, Goku, as well as his first friend that he makes, Bulma, and then fighting off against Emperor Pilaf. Him and his henchmen kind of come across to me as like a Team Rocket type vibe from the Pokemon series type thing, and so I kind of thought of them in that type of a role throughout the series, not as much a formidable threat, but at least something that's a bit of a nuisance and an annoyance that they have to deal with from time to time. Overall, it was nothing too exciting, but it was a good introduction for someone like me who knew nothing about Dragon Ball going in. We then moved into the first tournament arc, and for me, I thought it dragged on a little bit as things kind of moved through, as this different fights and parts of it took place over multiple different episodes. It wasn't just a structure I was necessarily used to, but eventually, as you'll see, I came to look forward to the different tournaments as they took place every few years or so, and it ended up becoming one of my more looked forward to and anticipated parts of each of the seasons. Then moving into the whole Red Ribbon Army arc. This is the arc that focuses around General Blue, Commander Red, and then Fortune Teller Baba. This is where the series started to get more interesting to me, as we get to see more of what Goku is capable of. It's when we get to focus more on his kind heart and one of the series' main themes of being friendship and that sense of adventure. I liked the multi-layers of the Red Ribbon Army as Goku works his way through the ranks all the way up to Commander Red. The next big arc we move into is revolving around Tien Shinhan, Piccolo, and then Piccolo Jr. Now this arc is where I fell in love with the series. Tien Shinhan became one of my favorite characters in the show, with his character development and the arc that he's taken on throughout his journey once he meets Goku. I love how his beliefs are challenged and he changes them, but still sticks to the core convictions that he's had. And then with the introduction of Piccolo, the show rises to a new level with higher stakes and bigger consequences. We see Goku's unyielding desire to protect others and care for those that are important to him. All of this despite seemingly impossible tasks and incredibly powerful foes that he has to face. I never really expected this show to be as deep as it is thematically. I always just thought it was a big show about a bunch of just incredibly powerful beings fighting each other all the time. And though it has that, and that's a big focus of it, there's much more to it. Goku loves fighting for both the challenge and the opportunity to grow and develop his strengths and weaknesses. He doesn't do it for selfish gain, he simply does it for the thrill of the challenge and to be able to help others. In the end, it's a story about friendship, doing good, and a genuine passion for something that you love. As a Christian, I really loved the themes that this story focuses on. One of the big ones is just always training to better yourself, push through your limits. And I feel like we should be doing the same as Christians when it comes to studying the word, praying, and building that personal relationship with God. It's a good example seeing it done in that realm when it comes to preparing to train to fight and defeat the forces of evil that are coming against you. Another thing I really loved and wanted to mention is the theme song. I loved the theme song for this movie, and so did my son, who frequently danced to it anytime I had the show on. It's super catchy and fun, and the lyrics pretty much tell you everything you need to know going into the show to get the very basics of it. My favorite lyrics from it is when it goes, "Let's try, 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 look high and low, search the sky and the sea below, let's try, 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 seize the day, and make new friends along the way." I feel like that just best encompasses what this show is all about: searching high and low, pushing past limits, and of course, making friends along the way. I loved all of the different friends that Goku gets to make along the way, the times they care about one another, protect one another, and even just the exciting thrill of a challenge of fighting one another to see who's the best. Like I said, just a passion for something that you love is so evident through this series, and as I've continued into Dragon Ball Z Kai, that has just exponentially grown even more, getting to see how they've grown over these past 5 years between the shows. I absolutely love it, and I've been thoroughly enjoying Dragon Ball Z so far, and I'm planning on continuing in Dragon Ball Super as well. So those are my thoughts of checking out Dragon Ball for the first time as someone who didn't really know anything about the series going in. I absolutely love it. I've been watching it a ton, telling my friends about it, all that kind of stuff. It's just a fantastic series and franchise that I've really enjoyed getting into. So thank you for checking this out. Thank you for hearing my thoughts on the show for the first time. I'd love to hear whether you're a lifelong Dragon Ball fan or you're new to the series like me, what you love about it so much. So be sure to join me in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.